All right, Logan Raddick. All right, let's bring in our panelists. Charles Marino, he's a former Department of Homeland Security Senior Advisor and Newsmax National Security Contributor. He's also the author of Terrorists on the Border and in Our Country, and was a former supervisory special agent in the Secret Service. Also with us, Mehek Cooke. She's an attorney, political strategist, and Newsmax contributor. Charles, let's start off with you first. Los Angeles Times releasing an article highlighting what it calls Secret Service failures that could have led to tragedy. Were you shocked by some of the details listed in this report, one of them being that he fell and he wasn't tackled? What did you think when you read this?
Yeah, when talking about this, I don't think it's an all or nothing either way, whether they absolutely succeeded in their mission or they failed completely. Look, there's no question about the men and women of the Secret Service, their dedication to the mission. That's unimpeachable. The bigger question here, and I addressed this in my op-ed for Newsmax, is whether or not these people have the protocols to be able to succeed. Are the protocols keeping up with the threat level? And I don't think they are. And I think the Secret Service, the Department of Homeland Security, and the White House need to have an honest conversation about this, because it needs to change. If we're designating events like the World Cup, for example, as a national special security event, then why are we not doing it for large events attended by the president? I don't get it. I think that's pretty significant when you've got the leader of the free world attending these large events. So this should have been an NSSE. It not only jeopardized the lives and safety of the president and others, but it also threatened the continuity of government.
Mehek, were you surprised that Allen didn't contest being detained?
I wasn't surprised. I think at this point, Cole Allen knows exactly what he's up against. The fact that there's a manifesto, the pictures, there's going to be a digital footprint, the fact that he traveled from California and mapped out exactly where the president was going to be, including his senior administration and officials. So he is really up against a massive battle, and he is a threat. This is where the defense is actually conceding to the prosecution. So it didn't surprise me at all. What does surprise me is, to your previous guest point, in terms of the security threat and incident that happened. What did we learn from Butler? I mean, we're still waiting for actionable changes, because this just shows you how incredibly thoughtless this event was in terms of the planning, in terms of the execution. And the only people we really should be thanking today is going to our faith in God, because thank God nobody was injured that day. We still don't know how that other Secret Service member, who shot him, was it Cole Allen? Was it somebody else that had a gun? So there's so many questions today, and we're not learning fast enough to keep up with these security incidents.
Right, we're showing some of the weapons, and you're also now seeing a diagram. And back to that LA Times article, which according to the federal prosecutor's court filing, it said that Allen was thwarted, Charles, only because he fell, right? And it points to the security footage, which shows officers idling around as Allen runs past them. As somebody who was a special supervisory agent for many, many years, and look at this picture, the selfie he took 30 minutes prior to trying to get into the ballroom. You see him armed to the teeth. What goes through your mind? Did they not anticipate that this was a high security event? I mean, again, we had the president and the vice president and top members of the cabinet all in one room.
It really is startling, and I think it points to not only an issue within the Secret Service, but also at the Department of Homeland Security, and that is, we have nobody that's kind of taking this larger view of these types of events and saying, we could have a pretty significant problem here if something goes wrong. And I think there's a number of reasons. At the DHS level, they're just not paying enough attention to the Secret Service. It really has become solely the Department of Immigration and Border Security. Not that those two things are not important, but the leadership of the department is becoming overwhelmed with those issues because they're so political and they're so garnering so much attention. So within the Secret Service, they've got to be honest about what occurred here and the fact that things need to change.
Right. And again, this is the third attempted assassination of President Trump.